So you say you're all ready to move out of your country and go to a different place, but once you get there, there are all these things that you're going to encounter that's going to make you think.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Well, we all want to get away, and when we do, we're going to find that there are some things that, well, they just aren't the same. When you get outside of the US, Canada, or whatever quote-unquote first world country you're in. This is one of the little complexes that's right outside of where I live right now. Everything that's kind of nice out here is going to be gated or walled in. So they believe in their walled in homes around here. My place is back there. You see that brown building? See if I can get my finger to it. It's over there, right there. That's me. That's my building. Anyway, so you get outside of the country that you're accustomed to, the quote-unquote first world countries, and things are going to be a little bit different. One of the two main things that make people, actually there's a number of things that make people think of maybe relocating back to their home, and one of them, some of you guys are asking about rentals and that kind of thing, so I'm going to show you one. This up the street from where I am. He put the sign up sideways. Don't ask me why. But anyway, he's got a couple for rent here, so maybe that's something you'd be interested in. If you want to know, here's the name. Reverse the camera, because when I'm doing it this way, if I'm looking at the camera and I can see myself, then that means I went ahead and did that for you. But either way, when you come to these places, you will see that they are pretty well walled in, gated, and that kind of thing. This one's pretty nice. Now, you're not going to get in here for cheap, okay? They can be pretty expensive. But anyway, so I'm going to just be walking around the neighborhood and sharing some stuff with you guys as I go. So I will break this up as I'm going. But anyway, one of the things that hold people back and make people think that maybe they need to go back home is they can't speak the language. And like me, I'm lazy. I haven't been actually studying the way I should. But there's no test at the end of the semester, so what do I care, right? Beautiful home here up on the hill, again, walled in and gated. You see that? That's a very nice one there. Salud. All right, and then there's this one over here. Now this couple here, they're actually from Georgia. They are Dominican, and they are renovating that home that they inherited from either his parents or her parents. They're from North Georgia somewhere. But either way, I guess it was cheaper for them to, and actually makes sense. They are actually Dominican, and they grew up in the US. So they just decided, you know what? Let's sell this house. Let's take our equity and go home. And they're able to inherit the home, renovate it, put cash in the pocket, I'm sure, hopefully at least, you know. And so they're doing pretty good. Another one here is this one, if we can get that reversed for you guys. So yeah, everything down here ain't gonna be cheap, okay? You're not gonna come down here and do it on the cheap. Not if you want that first world experience. I'll just, you know what, I'm just gonna leave this way. You can get back to me later on and I can share this with you guys. But learning the language is going to be key when you're living out here, right? And if you don't learn the language, you're going to find yourself feeling kind of shut out, you know? I mean, I've been lazy. Like I said, I've been lazy. And you can't really see the houses here. They walled them off pretty well. This one has electrified fence. I mean, they're like, okay, you can try it if you wanna. I don't think that's legal in the U.S. I don't think that we can put up electric fences in the U.S. when we are, you know, securing our homes. Because if you do and you electrocute and kill the burglar, then it's your fault that he was breaking into your house in the first place. You know how that goes, right? We've all heard it, you know. Fault for protecting yourself against the people who want to do harm to you. You're supposed to just let them do it and then fight it out in court where they have more rights. But that's a whole nother story. Anywho, so let's see, let me get over here so I can see the traffic. All right, so learning the language. There's a couple of ways you can do it. Now, there are free apps that you can use like Duolingo, and you can set it up so that you can do maybe 5-10 minutes a day, knock it out in the morning, get it over with. Excuse me, guys. I was supposed to do this video several days ago, but allergies have been beating me down pretty well. That's a pretty ornate kind of gate there in bright colors, right? And then just across the street, there's this, if I can get to cooperate. There we go. More of a modern take, but still that Dominican style, if you will. And then if you go this way, you'll see even more. And so if you want to keep that first world kind of lifestyle in your home, you can do that. No, you're not going to do that for $80,000 or $100,000. You're not going to even do that for $150,000 or $200,000. You're going to have to you're going to have to put out some bucks, buddy. You're going to have to put out some bucks. Now, they put up a sign here. Now, my Spanish isn't good enough for that one. Municipal Santiago. Maybe that's government land. I don't know. But there's a lot of land around here. You'll see these empty lots. And so you might have to get with an attorney or something to figure out who owns it, because there are a lot of people who are willing to sell it to you, but they don't own it. Okay, so you got to be really careful about that. I was talking to my attorney. Helicopter flying over. 1 second. Here's another lot across the street from that one, and then again right next door to you, you have that big monstrosity there. Okay, so I was talking to my attorney, and he said, yeah, you want to buy a piece of property, don't sign anything until you come to me first. He says, I love my people, but I know who they are, and they will rip you off. They will sell your property they don't own. Excuse me. Allergies, guys, allergies. Anywho, I'm thinking that's someone's home right there too, and they don't want you to see it, so we're not going to go peeping in the crack through the cracks in the gate. But I will bring you over here, where you can see they have them. Vende is for sale. Alquila is a rental. So you have both rentals and sales in this particular complex. So if I step back across the street a little bit, try to give you guys a better look of this place. It's not a real big complex, just a few floors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like a penthouse, a 2-story penthouse on the upper level. You see that? That looks like one unit, one on the front and then one on the back. See that? And then of course it's gated, and you have 24-hour security. So it's not very big, and it doesn't look like there are very many people at home. Only 2 cars in the driveway or in the parking lot, and then there is their security entrance. And here's another car there. Maybe that's a resident also. And did somebody lose a puppy? He's more afraid of me than I am of him. And then looks like they're doing a second, a second phase to this thing. You see that? See back there? There's another one, another tall building back there. They're really big on these here because, guys, this is an island, and on islands you don't have a lot of land to work with. So when you get down here, everything's going to go up because it can't go out. It's not like the U.S. where you've got 3,000 miles from one ocean to the other. All you got is what you got, and that's going to be, this place. I looked it up from east to west, from the farthest farthest point east to the farthest point west. It is 246, either 246 or 248 miles is what you got. Okay, so what we're looking at here is you got 7 floors, and you've got 2 bedroom, that's 2 habitations. That's your bedroom, 1 entertainment area, 2 baths, 2 parking spots, and then of course there you go. It's 1,100 square meters, and a square meter is 10.7 square feet. So 111 square meters, you multiply that times 10.7, and that'll tell you how many square feet you have. For those of you who are still in the United States, where we are just refusing to catch up to the rest of the world and move to metric. They were talking about that in the 70s when I was in high school, and we still haven't done it, right? I remember in the 8th grade, we were taking out the yard, not the yardstick, but the meter stick and all of that, and talking about centimeters and millimeters and all that. And I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have all this done by the time I'm finished with high school. No high school, no college, no old man. Still not done with it. But that's the U.S. and that's how we do. Anywho, you got to learn the language, guys. It's gonna box you out of society, if you don't. Here's another house here. Oh, and there's one right here in front of me. I missed it. I'm gonna get that one for you guys too. So here's another one here. You probably don't want to look at me. You'll see enough. So I'll swing this back around. Don't get dizzy. I'll try to keep the camera from moving around too much, but from that corner down there, all the way up to where I'm standing right here, and that little door right there, that's the trash. So the people on the inside, there's a door on the inside. They'll put their trash there, and when the trash guys come by, they'll open the door and take the trash out. So that's how that works. And I don't know if you can see it. I can, but they do have cameras on this thing, and they do have their electric fence also. So you break in if you want to. And then let's go over here. Let's take a look at this one. All right. So now these are within walking distance of. I showed you where I live, so you can tell how far I've walked. So this is a pretty big house here. Now there's a lot right there. Okay, you can check on that. Again, have your attorney to do that for you. And then as I pan around, you see the driveway, and then you can walk in there, and then there's there. You see that thing up on top? It's like a canopy. They are big on having their rooftop party areas. I mean, that's a big thing because yards aren't very big. Like I say, this is an island and things go up. So they do a lot of rooftop party areas, entertainment areas, I guess is what we'll call them. So, yeah. Now, we're coming up on another building here. The guys sweated and left their clothes out to dry. Who can blame them? It's hard work out here in this heat. It is Sunday, so nobody's out working today. But we're going to get you the phone number here. Now, when you're calling these people, usually pretty much everybody has, what's it called? WhatsApp. So you can use Google Translate to communicate with them. Just copy and paste out of Google Translate into WhatsApp, right? So that way, the people can understand what you're saying. Some of them may speak English, but some of them will not. And there is the WhatsApp number right there. So you can inquire about the cost of these things. And a lot of times, these things are individually owned. There's not going to be like a leasing office at any of these places that I share with you today. So what you'll have to do is you will contact them, and if you want to buy one, that's fine. But what happens, like where I am, and you can reserve one of these things for as little as like $5,000 pre-build and get the better price, because these things go for a lot less when they're building them than when you once it's finished. Anywho, so these things are individually owned, and you'll have to rent it from the people who owns it. Like the people that own my unit, they live in Italy. Okay, so they're living pretty good, and then they're renting this out. And I guess when they get tired of me, they'll just kick me out, and then they'll want to come home. Another empty lot here. This one looks like it's being cleared because I came through here. It's been about a month or two since I've come this way. But this was all grown up. I mean, you couldn't see anything. So obviously somebody's been here clearing the land. It looks like they're getting ready to do something. So I guess when they do, they will, and we'll take a look at that too. If I'm still here, who knows? But we'll keep walking. This is the big circle here as we go on around. Last time I came through here, I think that was about like back in September, October, one of the two, and a tree had fallen right there where that tower is, and we had a power outage a few days before that, and prior to that, and then I came walking around here, and I went, oh, that's why the power was out for 2 hours. So there will be those days when you're over here. Back to the topic, learning the language. So yeah, you can do Duolingo, and you can pick up a couple of minutes every day, and then go out and try to use it on people. I mean, don't embarrass yourself, but you can jot stuff down, make notes, and that kind of thing, just like you would if you're in any other class and trying to learn something. But you can use Duolingo, and that's free. It's absolutely free. But if you need a more immersive kind of experience, You can do what a lot of people do. Yeah, take a class. Take a class. They're not expensive. I've not looked into them, but I've heard a lot of people talk about them. I'm not interested. I'll just do the Duolingo thing. I'm a solitary kind of guy, and I want to keep it that way. So you can do that. But you've got to begin to learn some of the language. Let me tell you something, okay? I even got tired of me. I got tired of me, okay? I'm been in this country for several months now, and I've got tired of saying "Lo siento, esto americano, mi no habla español." People get tired of that. I got tired of that. People don't want to hear you in the country all these months. I'm crossing the street, guys. So I'd rather have the traffic coming toward me than coming up behind me. But, and this is where we started, remember? This was the corner house that we looked at, one of the first ones as I went up that street, and it had all those nice houses on it. So we'll turn this back around. There we go. So yeah, I even got tired of me not being able to speak the language. I mean, there's no excuse for it. So it's time to get busy, right? We're not too good for that, but we have to begin to learn the language. It's not their responsibility to speak English. Now, one of the things that kind of holds me back, I'll be honest, is that a lot of the places that I go to do business, there's generally someone there, at least one person, who speaks English. Like when I go to the bank, there's Stephanie. She's always there. She's one of the first people that I see when I walk in the bank, and she's always there. I want to show you guys these people's house. Like I say, they're renovating, like the guys out here mixing, I don't know if that's mortar mix or cement. Then the guys are in there working. I won't go in the home because, you know, it's their home. But anyway, they're doing a good job, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be really nice. Anyway, always there to assist me and speak English. She speaks English. She'll talk to her, tell her if I need something special or whatever. All right. Then there's also when I go get my car repaired. Like there's a Goodyear place straight down the street here, about 200 yards. All right, that's where the Goodyear, the hospital, the bank, all of that's right there together. There's a young lady there. She speaks English. When I went to get my AC serviced on my car, the guy there speaks perfect English. So I had no inclination to, at that point in a way, to try to speak Spanish. So those kind of things can hold you back. And someone actually told me that Google Translate will stifle my learning because I'll just use Google Translate because it's easy. And a lot of people, I think, do that. And we don't do ourselves any favor by doing that. So if you don't learn the language, you can get frustrated and you can wonder or start, having second thoughts as to whether or not you made the right decision to move. Another thing, see these wires above me? I don't know if you can see these over my head. The sun's out there and I can't see it very well because it's glaring. Either way, there's another thing, and it's this. Yeah, these motorcycle, but this power system here, that utility pole that I share with you, that's not an exaggeration. We see that on the regular over here. And as a result, they have power outages all the time. And it is frustrating. So you have to get an inverter to power your house when the power goes down. But even with the inverter, the power goes down for that long, and what happens? My modem has to reset, and so if I'm doing something on the internet, I'm going to get cut off. You know, so save and save often. That's frustrating. Here's another one, guys. I think this house belongs to a dignitary or something, all right? This thing, I'm standing right in front of it and I can barely see it because of all the trees, the fencing, and that kind of thing. Looks like he got an old school big body Benz in there, so he's been making money for a minute. But this home, yeah. And then right behind this home, you see there's a lot right there. I wanted to inquire about that lot, but I think somebody's grabbed it already. Because right behind that lot and behind this house, sometimes you see me do videos where I'm out walking and I'm on a trail. There's a big circle that goes behind this lot or behind this house. I'm gonna keep this here because there's one other house I want to share with you as I cross the street, because I got to get back to get the proper perspective on it. Okay. Hopefully this guy didn't have any cameras or anything, so I'm trying to get into his house. All right. So I'm going to turn this around, and we're going to come over here. Now these people are building another one, another pretty big one. All right. So unbeknownst to me, I moved into the part of Santiago where a little bit of money lives, and yeah, I had no idea. I just came out here and said, oh, I like it. Anyway, if I can get my camera to cooperate, we'll keep going. So the power grid. So the power grid could use some work. It could use some work. That thing, I tell you what, out of 7 days of the week, my power's gonna go out at least 4 times. Now, a lot of times it's only out for 10 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes. They're big on their motorcycles. Uh-oh. I just saw what I wanted to see, guys. All right. I know some people say, well, I'm not going to tell them. Well, if you beat me to the punch. Si vende. Si vende. Si vende. For sale. Okay? From next door to the mansion, all the way over to that, I don't know if you can see that fence. It's a man-made fence. They use these like limbs off of trees, like this limb right here. They'll break that limb off of a tree, run barbed wire, and then you have, and it goes back, and it backs up to that, there we go. We got cars coming and get out of the street, guys, because they do drive crazy down here. We're going to talk about driving down here. Oh, they're slow, so I can cross, get back over here. But yeah, so the power grid right here, down here, could use a little work. I mean, it could use a lot of work. Oh my goodness. Okay, like I said, they drive crazy. All right, this is a 2-lane street. You had 2 cars going, see, sun's east, going north. 1 car coming south. The other guy that was blowing his horn in the little orange car, he decided that he was going to pass those 2 cars, even though there was other traffic coming. It was, in his opinion, worth it to take the risk of having a head-on collision in order to save 12 seconds off of his trip. This is how crazy it is, okay? Now, I know some people say, well, you know, don't complain, blah, 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 but some things are insane, and that's insane, irresponsible, and just flat out stupid. Now, I want to show you here. Here's another one. If you're wondering what housing is like down here for the people who are doing fairly well, okay, see, they got their holiday stuff up, and that's the end of their lot. Now, I showed you the one that's for sale, and then there's another one right next to it, and that's what you're looking at there, and then all the way down there, before you get to the off-white wall, you'll see that's the one that's for sale, okay? Got that? Get it? Good. Let's turn that back around. That's why I say I want to walk against the traffic, but this fool decided to cross the lane with traffic going in both directions and just blow his horn. Oh, and here he is again, driving like a bat out of hell, flooring it. Okay? They drive like 14-year-olds. If you know 14-year-olds, they don't have license in the U.S. And down here, you'll wonder if they have license too. Anyway, so the power grid. Oh, before I get to the power grid, another one. Okay. Now this lot here was one I really liked, but then I noticed, okay, they're clearing this one, so somebody's got it. But I like the corner lot. I like the idea of the corner lot, and it's a really big one too, all things considered. Bigger than the one that's for sale back there. But yeah, I'm gonna make that phone call before I post this thing, so I'll already know if I want it. But well, I saw it first, so you know, I saw it first. Don't get mad. So I'm gonna cross the street here. Traffic's generally not too bad on this street, so I can keep the camera turned around, and you guys can see that there's another lot here. Now, I'm sure this is already on. It's fenced in and everything. I mean, they may want to sell it. If you investigate, you may be able to find the owner, and they may want to part with the land and get a little cash. A lot of people want to do that nowadays. You know, they want to get their hands on hard-earned cash because they can't eat that land, but with that cash they can buy food and eat that, right? So the power grid needs work, and that's one thing that has become really frustrating for me, if I'm being honest. Uh, the power grid, the electricity going out as often as it does. I mean, they're building other parts of the infrastructure. They're actually putting up a light rail. Now, I'm saying you're putting up a light rail and your electricity goes out 3 or 4 times a week. They actually had a full nationwide outage not long ago. A nationwide outage? How do you have that? And you're trying to build a light rail system. That doesn't make sense. Another place where if you want a rental is here. And if you need the number, we're gonna swing you around, and there you go. Beto Group, okay? And there's a young lady who will be your representative. You can't just go look at these places. They're not like in the US where you could just pull onto a complex and go speak with the people in the leasing office. Doesn't quite work like that. So, but they have a nice entrance. It's gated, and there's a security guard in there. He's working. They're there 24/7. It is called Residential Rosemary 4. All right, and pretty nice. Rooftop places also. Now what happens again? Sometimes these things are, they're generally individually owned, right? They buy them as they're being built. A lot of people buy these as their retirement homes. They live in other countries, but they are Dominican. And what they'll do is they'll let you pay the mortgage for them. And then when they're ready to retire, they come home. And this is my favorite house that I've seen so far in the Dominican Republic. It's just a beautiful villa. It's just a beautiful house, in my opinion. Okay, you might like something else, but it goes all the way down there to the end of that wall. Next to that lot that I showed you that's fenced in. So that's a beautiful home. So, yeah. There's more houses right down there. We're just gonna go straight this time. Anyway, so the power grid, that's gonna cause problems for you if you don't get a backup power supply in your home. Let's see, are there any cars coming? Have to be careful here. My camera's getting twisted. Sorry guys, let me fix that. There we go. So you're gonna have to get a backup power unit in your home if you're going to have constant power, because if they decided that they're going to build a light rail system rather than fix their electricity or their water or their roads, then they're not going to fix those things. They're just going to move to something else. So, and why am I bringing this up? Because a lot of people move outside the US, and after about 6 months to a year, they're saying they've had enough. They're ready to go back home because, doggone it, it's just not right. I mean, they should fix this stuff, they should fix that. It's not like at home, blah, blah, blah. But what I have to ask you is, what is your why? Another home there, another classical Dominican middle-class home right there. And then across the street from that, we have another one. And trust me, I promise you, these people have backup power supplies in their homes, okay? They're not gonna be out here living like this and not take their time to put a power supply in their home. That's gonna hit you for about $1,000, okay? You gotta buy the inverter. They're going to, and it's gonna have a lot of times they'll be using like a automobile battery. And what they'll do is they will wire it to your breaker panel, and they will connect it to the breakers that you want to continue to operate. Like you might have a kitchen breaker, you might have a living room breaker, your bedroom, you know, whatever breakers that you have in your home, all right? They'll connect it to that. So whenever your power goes off, it'll kick in after about a second or so, and those breakers will come right back on. They'll be powered, in other words. So that'll keep your house powered, at least those breakers. Now, sometimes you can get one big enough to power your entire house, which I'm sure some people will do. Some people will say, well, it's only going to be out for, you know, this amount of time, so we're okay just, you know, having it, you know, power. We're okay just having it power the kitchen and the living room. And we can just chill here for 20 or 30 minutes until the power comes back on. Now in America, I know we don't like all being in the same room. So We want to put our kids in all their bedrooms, and we go to our bedrooms and the rest of the house is empty. But they don't live like that here. They'll just all go to one room and they're cool. They'll sit there, laugh, talk, and have a good time, eat, drink, whatever, right? So I wanted to bring that up because here's the key. If you are thinking about leaving the U.S., you need to stop and ask yourself, why? Why are you leaving? Okay? Because if you're leaving because you want to go someplace else and have the U.S. wherever you land, that ain't gonna happen. Okay? That ain't gonna happen. Well, it can happen, but if it does, you're gonna have the same problems you have back home. Because that infrastructure, that way of living, it comes at a cost. And so most people who leave and leave successfully long term, they leave because they understand that cost that they're paying, well, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And so they'd rather go, pick up and leave and go somewhere. I want to sit down here for a minute while we wrap this up. They'd rather go somewhere where life can be, pull this in, well, life can be better for them. Well, they can live the lives that they want to live the lives that they feel they were born to live life without the pressures, the stress, all the things that are associated with living in the U.S. right now, or in Canada, or wherever you are. You know, every place comes at a price. And what you have to ask is, are you willing to pay that price? Do you want to pay that price? Is it worth it? Because there are going to be frustrations. This is not a perfect place. There is no, people say, well, you're moving to paradise. There is no paradise on earth. That's why it's called earth. There's no paradise here. But there can be better than where you are based on your own sensibilities, the things that you look for, the things that you think are important. And you have to closely examine those and make sure that you are fully committed to those before you pick up and move to another place. It's expensive. I think I spent about $12,000 just in the move itself, okay? Not to mention buying a car and doing some of the other things, right? So you have to make sure that this is what you want, because although it's expensive coming here, it'd be a lot more expensive going back. Then you got to plug back into that system, that credit system, that, this and that. You gave up your house maybe, and now you got to go back home and you want to rent. If you're retired and you want to go back home and rent, and let's say you have a retirement income of, say, I think it's like $40,000, it's supposed to be somewhere around the norm, right? Well, yeah, $4,000 a month. Well, if your apartment is $1,700 a month, you can't get that apartment because you got to make 3 times the rent. And so you have to think about these things before you make this move, because it's so important that you are fully sold out and committed to what it is you're doing. Make sure that you are, because there is no turning back. And I just want to say that to people, because people ask questions about, oh, what about this and what about that? And I get it. But what about you? What about you and who you are and what you want and what you're striving to accomplish? That is what you have to, and I can't answer that for you, but that is what you have to answer for yourself. So take the time, do a little self-reflection, little inventory on how you feel about things. Is it really the things that are where you are that are a problem? Or maybe it's just the way you're receiving them. And maybe if you receive them better, you'll be happier there. Because when you get here, you're going to leave that matrix, you're going to be trading it for this one. And that's just the way it is. We trade one matrix for another. It's everywhere we go. But let me tell you, happiness can be found wherever you go. Because I know for certain, you were fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of the Creator, and that's not going to stop. And you have the power to do whatever it is that you want, wherever it is you choose to go. So thanks for joining me, guys. Be blessed, and I'll see you next time.